Okay, children. So what all things we had learned in the last class? Reem Fatima, can you tell me?
Dalton's
Yeah.
merits, demerits.
Okay, Dalton's atomic theory. Then
Merits of Dalton's atomic theory, demerits of Dalton's atomic theory.
that means postulates, right?
Uh, cathode rays.
Yeah. What's the name of that experiment? Alantina, can you tell me? Yes.
Electrons.
What's the name of that experiment?
Cathode.
Yeah,
Cathode rays.
cathode ray discharge tube experiment. Okay. Then Anila, who
Yes, ma'am.
invented this electron, subatomic particle electron?
Michael Faraday.
Michael Faraday. Then which are the other subatomic particles present in an atom, Jewel?
Electrons, neutrons,
Yes.
and protons.
Okay. Electrons, protons, and neutrons. So first we have learned the discovery of electron. Michael Faraday conducted the experiment, right? Alina, can you explain the experiment? Alina Verghese. Alina, can you hear me? Yes. Cathode ray discharge tube experiment. Yes, unmute and tell me. Adulya, can you tell me?
Yes. When sufficiently high voltage is applied through an inert gas
Okay.
across the electrodes, current starts flowing through a stream of particles moving in cathode ray discharge tube from negative electrode cathode to positive electrode anode.
Okay. That's enough. Renil, can you tell me why we are using this fluorescent or phosphorescent materials in this experiment?
To indicate the presence of current.
Once again?
To indicate the presence of current.
Yes. To observe the presence of cathode rays, right? I told you we cannot able to see it with our naked eyes, right? So we are using this fluorescent or phosphorescent materials to accurately detect the presence of electron. Okay. Is this clear? Then we have learned about the charge to mass ratio of an electron, right? Charge to mass ratio of an electron. What about the value of that charge to mass ratio, Devika?
Yes, ma'am. 1.758820 into 10 raised to 11.
11. What about the unit?
C kg raised to
Yeah,
minus
think
1.
for coulomb. Okay.
Coulomb kg raised to
Coulomb
minus
per kilogram. Coulomb per kilogram.
coulomb.
Okay, so we have learned the value of charge of electron to mass ratio. Okay, from this value, we are going to learn how to find out the charge of electron and mass of electron. First, we learn the ratio between the charge of electron to the mass. Then we are going to learn what about the value of charge and what about the mass of electron. Clear? Yes. So next one, charge on the electron. Charge on the electron. So here, this charge on the electron, it was discovered from an experiment, Millikan oil drop experiment. That's the name of that experiment, Millikan oil drop experiment. Robert Millikan, that's the name of the scientist, and Harvey Fletcher. These two scientists conducted the oil drop experiment to determine the charge of an electron. Okay, the description of this Millikan's oil drop experiment, that's in your textbook, that's related to extended activity. So you can read that. Okay, that's in page number 32. So in this chapter, you need to learn from this Millikan oil drop experiment, we can able to determine the charge of an electron, the value of charge of an electron. They calculated this value to be 1.5924 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulombs. Coulomb is the unit of charge, right? Coulomb is the unit of charge. So here it is 1.5924 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb, which is within 1% of the currently accepted value. You have to note down only this value. This is the currently accepted value. 1.602176487 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. They calculated this value to be 1.5924. And after several adjustments, now we are accepted this value. It is 1.6021. So this is the value of charge of an electron. Charge of an electron. And it is negative value. Okay, negative 1.602176487, because the charge of electron, it is negative, right? This cathode ray particles are negatively charged particles. That's why it is negative 1.602176487 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. So from this Millikan oil drop experiment, Robert Millikan and Harvey Fletcher, these two are the scientists, conducted the oil drop experiment to determine the charge of an electron and the value that is equal to this one. And it is negative. Clear? So from the previous experiment, charge to mass ratio, do you remember that one experiment? We just applied electric field, then magnetic field, then the balance applied on magnetic field. Then three cases are there. Three sports were obtained in that screen. Do you remember that one? I will just show. Yes, this one. A, B, and C. In the case A, here this electric field is applied. Okay. And here it is magnetic field. And the point B, balanced electric and magnetic field. So based on this experiment, we just reached that the value of charge to mass ratio. Okay. After that, this Millikan oil drop experiment, it leads to the value of charge of an electron. Okay, clear. And you have to note down the charge of an electron, it is always negative. It is always negative. Clear? Pooja, what's the name of that experiment? Unmute and tell me.
Which one, ma'am?
Which experiment that leads to the value of charge of an electron?
Millikan oil drop experiment.
Okay, okay. And what about the charge of an electron, G's? What's the value? Please unmute. Yes. Tell me.
Minus 16021
1.60.
1.602176487.
87. Okay. So now we got two values. This charge to mass ratio, E by ME, and the charge of electron. Okay. Now we are going to find out the value of mass of an electron. Mass of an electron. So you can write down the values. 1 minute. E by ME. That's the ratio of charge to mass. That is equal to 1.758820 into 10 raised to 11 coulomb per kilogram. C stands for coulomb. Okay. Then now we got the value of charge. Yes.
10 raised to minus 11.
Yes, yes. 10 raised to minus 11. 1 minute. No, dear, it's positive. The previous slide, which value you write there?
10 raised to minus 11.
Sorry, it's 10 raised to plus 11. Okay. Yes, it's 10 raised to 11, positive value. Then next, charge of an electron. It is minus 1.602176 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Okay. We are going to find out the mass of an electron, Me, by substituting these two values. Divided by E by Me. Finally, we got the answer 9.1094 into 10 raised to minus 31 kilogram. This is the mass of an electron. In this case, we will neglect this negative value, okay? Because mass is always positive, right? So we neglect the charge of negative value of charge of the electron. So you have to remember this one, 9.1, at least 2 decimal places, okay? 9.10 into 10 raised to minus 31 kilogram. That's the mass of an electron. And charge of an electron, that is negative 1.6021 into 10 raised to minus 90 coulomb. This is clear now? Yes. Himalavika,
Yes, ma'am.
what's the mass of an electron?
9.1094 into 10 raised to minus 31 kilogram.
31 kilogram. So that's about the discovery of electron. Okay, from cathode ray discharge to experiment, we observed that there are certain cathode rays, they are moving from cathode to anode. So they are moving towards positively charged particles. And we have learned that like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. So we can conclude that this cathode rays, they are negatively charged particles. Then we discovered the charge to mass ratio. Then through the oil drop experiment, Millikan oil drop experiments, we discovered the charge of an electron. It is negative 1.602176 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Then we find out the mass of an electron. It is 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kilogram. This is clear for you? Any doubt? Anyone?
Ma'am, can you show
Yes.
me the previous slide
Which one?
about the Robert Millikan?
Okay, sure. This one, right? Nimida? Yes, you can complete it.
Ma'am, finished.
Finish. Right? Okay. So this one is that experimental setup of Millikan's oil drop experiment. Okay. Here this oil that will fall down to here as oil droplets. We can view it through this microscope. And after the certain calculations done by Millikan, we can able to find out the charge of an electron. Okay. Then the experiment number 2 that lead to the discovery of proton, the subatomic particle proton. Discovery of proton. And this experiment was conducted by Eugene Goldstein. Okay, E. Goldstein, Eugene Goldstein. Discovery of proton. Okay, it's similar to that of cathode ray discharge tube experiments. Okay, certain modifications to that discharge tube. That means the cathode that used in that previous experiment, that is in the form of perforated one. That means we just apply certain holes in that cathode. Okay, the same cathode ray discharge experiment with perforated cathode with certain holes. Clear? Do you remember that one? A discharge tube that is made up of glass with 2 electrodes at both ends. One is cathode and other one is anode, right? Then we have observed that certain rays are moving from cathode towards the anode. And it is found to be negatively charged particles, right? In this experiment, we are using perforated cathode. That means the same cathode with certain holes. And here also same method, we just evacuate the gases from that discharge tube. To remove all other gases from this discharge tube, we are using it with a vacuum pump. So after evacuating the tube and on applying high voltage, here also high voltage is applied on both electrodes, he found that some rays were emitting behind the cathode. The previous one we have learned that from the cathode, some rays are moving towards the anode. In this experiment, some rays were emitting behind the cathode. Okay, that means the rays were fall on this cathode, moving in the opposite direction of cathode rays. Cathode rays are moving from cathode to anode, but here it is moving from anode to cathode. Okay, these rays deflect to the negative plate of electric field. So here also opposite charges attract each other. Okay, they are moving towards the negative plate. So what about the charge of that particles? Can you tell me? Lakshmi? They are,
Positive charge.
yes, it's positive, right? Because they are moving towards a negatively charged plate. That means these particles are positively charged. So they carry positive charge and were called anode rays or canal rays. Okay, these rays are called anode rays or canal rays because they are starting from anode and fall towards the cathode. That's why these rays are known as anode rays or canal rays. These rays were later discovered as proton. Okay, named as proton. So here also the same experiment, only some modifications. That means perforated cathode is used instead of ordinary one. Okay, then after evacuating and the applying of high voltage, he found that some rays were emitted behind the cathode, moving in the opposite direction of cathode rays. That means they are starting from anode and fall towards the cathode. So these are positively charged particles. They are called anode rays, canal rays. Later, they were named as protons. Anjana, can you read this slide?
Experiment to discover a proton. He goes to modify the charge of experiment by perforated cathode. After evacuating the tube one and on applying high voltage, he found that some rays were emitting behind the cathode and moving in the opposite direction of cathode rays. These rays reflect to the negative plate of electric field, so the opposite charge and were called anode rays or
Okay. So that's about the discovery of proton. Okay. Have you completed this slide, children?
No.
Okay. Then you can complete it. Write it fast. And I will show you the image of that experimental setup of this discovery of proton. Finished, Adulya?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the experimental setup of anode ray discharge tube experiment. Anode ray discharge tube experiment. It's similar to the previous one, cathode ray discharge tube experiment. The same discharge tube made with glass and two electrodes at both ends. One is anode and one is cathode. Okay, positive one, that is anode, and the negative one, that is cathode. Here it is perforated cathode. That means cathode with certain holes. In the previous experiment, we can see that here in the place of, behind that anode, there is one fluorescent or phosphorescent coating to detect that electrons, right? Here there is one red glow. That's also certain materials are used to detect the protons. Okay. And here high voltage is applied. Vacuum pump is here to evacuate the gas. So these are the experimental setup that leads to the discovery of an proton. Any doubt here? So you can see that here, this anode rays, they are moving from anode towards cathode. Okay. This is clear? Any doubt? Anyone? Nothing.
No.
Yes. Shall I move to the properties? Okay. So next, properties of canal rays. Properties of canal rays. So you can able to compare it with the properties of cathode rays also. What's the other name of this canal rays? Tara, can you tell
Anode
me? Yes, yes, anode rays. Then one more. Later it was discovered as Tara.
Protons.
Yeah, it's protons. Okay, fine. Okay, so the first one, depend on the nature of gas present in cathode ray tube. Depend on the nature of gas present in cathode ray tube. In the case of cathode rays, we have learned that it will not depend on the nature of gas present in that cathode ray tube, right? Here it depend on the nature of gas present in cathode ray tube. These are positively charged gaseous ions. Okay, these canal rays are positively charged gaseous ions. So that's the first property. It will depend on the nature of gas present in the cathode ray tube. Okay. Then the second one, charge to mass ratio of these particles depend on the nature of the gas. Here the charge to mass ratio of proton, it's also depend on the nature of the gas. Clear? Which gas is taken in that discharge tube, it will be affected the charge to mass ratio and the properties of canal rays. Clear? Then the third one, some of the positively charged particles carry a multiple of fundamental unit of electric charge. That means if it is in the case of hydrogen, only one ion is there, right? Hydrogen, its atomic number is 1. So its proton is 1. So the charge positive, right? Only one proton there. But in the case of higher elements, that means elements with higher atomic number, they have the positively charged particles as a multiple of fundamental unit of electric charge. That means 1 into the charge of this uh, anode rays, then 2 into like that. So some of the positively charged particle carry a multiple of fundamental unit of electric charge. If only one atomic number is 1 and one proton is there, this unit is similar to that electric charge with positive value. If the atomic number is more than 1 and if more protons are there, value will be the multiples of unit of electric charge. That you will get, we can discuss it later. Okay. So this is the third property of canal rays. Then the fourth one, yes, yes.
Ma'am, will you explain that again?
Yes, sure. In the case of hydrogen, just wait. In the case of hydrogen, its atomic number is 1, right? Its atomic number is 1. So 1 proton is there. So we can use the same value of charge of electron with positive value. Clear? Okay, that's the charge. In the case of other elements with atomic number other than 1, that means atomic number 2, 3, 4, etc., the protons number also increases. Okay, so the value of such elements, that the multiple of this unit of electric charge, that's it. 1 into, then 2 into, 3 into, like that. It will increases, that's it. Clear? If only one proton is there, we can use the same value. If 2 protons are there, we will use the multiples, 2 into that number. Then if three protons are there, 3 into that number, like that. That's it. This is clear now? Yes. Okay, so this is the third property of canal rays. And the fourth one, the behavior of these particles, that means the behavior of canal rays in the magnetic or electrical field, it is opposite to that observed for electron or cathode rays. We have learned that when applying electric field, it will deviated from the straight line and it will spotted at A, right? So here in the case of canal rays, it will just opposite to that of cathode rays. Okay, its direction always opposite to that of cathode rays. That's it. Just 1 minute. Okay, so these four are the main properties of canal rays. It will depend on the nature of gas present in cathode ray tube. These are positively charged gaseous ions. Then the charge to mass ratio of these particles depend on the nature of the gas. Some of the positively charged particles carry a multiple of fundamental unit of electric charge. The behavior of these particles in the magnetic or electrical field is opposite to that observed for electron or cathode rays. Mehreen, can you please read?
Yes, ma'am. Properties of canal rays depend on the nature of gas present in cathode ray tube. These are positively charged gaseous ions.
Okay.
Charge to mass ratio of these particles depend on the nature of the gas. Some of the positively charged particles carry a multiple of fundamental unit of electric charge. The behavior of these particles in the magnetic or electrical field is opposite to that observed for electron or cathode rays.
Okay. Finish, children?
No, ma'am.
You write it fast.
Ma'am, I'm finished.
Finish, right? All of you? Yes. Okay. Then one more point here. The smallest and lightest positive ion was obtained from hydrogen and was called proton. Okay. In all elements, protons are there, but the lightest and smallest positive ion it's obtained from hydrogen and it is named as proton. Because the atomic number of hydrogen, it is 1. So the number of protons also equal to 1. Okay, that's the relation between the atomic number and protons. Atomic number, that's equal to the number of protons. That we will discuss later. In the heading isotopes, then isobars, atomic number, mass number, etc. So the smallest and lightest positive ion, it was obtained from hydrogen and was called proton. Okay, finished. So now we learned the discovery of electron, proton. Then one more subatomic particle. Which one was that? Other than protons and electrons?
Neutron.
Neutrons. Can you tell me the charge of this neutron?
Neutron.
Yes?
Neutron.
Very good. It's neutral. Okay. So the third one, the discovery of neutron. Discovery of neutron. So this is the third subatomic particle present in an atom. First we learned the discovery of electron, then discovery of proton, then the third one, discovery of neutron. So this is the third subatomic particle present in an atom. And the proton has a positive charge, electron has a negative charge. In the case of neutron, it's neutral. Okay. So this particle neutron were discovered by James Chadwick. Okay. James Chadwick by bombarding a thin sheet of beryllium by alpha particles. You know that beryllium, it belongs to one element, right? Using alpha particles, he bombarded a thin sheet of beryllium. When an electrically neutral particles having a mass, it is greater than that of protons were emitted from that beryllium sheet. Okay. He named these particles as neutrons. Clear? So this particle neutron, it was discovered by Chadwick by bombarding a thin sheet of beryllium by alpha particles. We learned about different types of particles. It's alpha, then beta, gamma, etc. Different rays. Okay. So using this alpha particles, he bombarded a thin sheet of beryllium. He observed that an electrically neutral, that means with no charge, particles having a mass, it is greater than that of proton. The mass that is slightly greater than that of proton were emitted. But the charge of this particle, it's neutral. He named these particles as neutrons. Clear? And this is the chemical equation related to bombarding of thin sheet of beryllium. Symbol of beryllium, it is Be. Okay, Be. And its atomic number is 4, mass number is 9. We always write this atomic number just left side below the symbol of that element. And mass number always represented at top left. Okay, top left, it is mass number, and bottom left, it is atomic number. Okay. So it is bombarded with this alpha particles. Alpha particles that is equal to helium ion. Okay, that's why here we written as He. It has written as He, helium. And here 0N1, that represents the neutron. That's it. So that's about the discovery of the third subatomic particle, neutron. Is this clear, children? Yes, right? Rose, who discovered this neutron?
James Chadwick.
James Chadwick. Aman, what about the charge of neutron?
Neutral.
Neutral charge. Tom, who conducted this discharge tube experiment? Cathode ray discharge tube experiment?
Michael Faraday.
Michael Faraday. Then Devika, who discovered proton?
Proton was discovered by
Yes. His name related to gold.
E. Goldstein.
Yes, E. Goldstein. Okay. This is clear now? The discovery of neutron? Emmeline, can you tell me the experiment related to the discovery of neutron? Emmeline?
When he saw the electrically neutral particles has the mass greater than protons, and thus he named it as neutrons.
From where these particles emitted?
Bombarding thin sheets of beryllium by alpha.
Alpha particles. Okay. Alpha particles, it is similar to that of helium atom. Okay, that's why in that chemical equation, we write helium 2, 4. 2 is the atomic number of helium, then 4 is the mass number of helium. This is clear now? The discovery of 3 subatomic particles. Children? Yes, right? So we can just compare the charge, mass of these 3 particles. Okay. Electron, its symbol is E. Okay. Electron E. Then the proton, its symbol is P. P. Electron, E, then proton, it's P, neutron, N. All are small letters. Okay, then we find out the charge of electron. It is minus 1.602176 into 10 raised to minus 19 Coulomb. Through which experiment? Do you remember that one? Cathode ray discharge tube experiment by applying electric field, magnetic field, then balancing electric and magnetic field. Is it clear? Okay, in the charge of proton, the same value with positive charge. Charge of proton, it's same value with positive charge. Okay, this is in the case of hydrogen because only one proton is there. In the case of all other elements, it will be the multiples of these values. Multiples of this value. If 2 protons are there, 2 into this number. If 3 protons are there, 3 into this number. Like that. That's the third property of that canal rays. Clear? Then here its charge is 0 because it is neutral, right? Then relative charge, it is minus 1. Here it is positive 1. Here it is 0. Proton, it is always positive. Electron, it is always negative. It is neutral. Then this mass of electron, it is 9.109382 into 10 raised to minus 31 kilogram. Okay. Here it is mass per kilogram. In kilogram, we are representing these values. Okay. And the mass of proton, it is 1.672621 into 10 raised to minus 27. Then the mass of neutron, it is 1.674927 into 10 raised to minus 27. And in the next column, it is represented in the form of atomic mass unit or unified mass. Clear? We have learned that atomic mass unit or the unified mass, it is the unit of atomic mass. Do you remember that one? In earlier times, atomic mass unit is used. Nowadays, we are using U. It stands for unified mass. Clear? So you have to remember the symbols. Then the charge of electron, proton, neutron. Then mainly this charge, mass of electron. These are very important. Okay. No need to write the complete decimals. You can 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31. That's enough. Okay. Here also it is 1.60 into 10 raised to minus 19 Coulomb. Coulomb stands for the unit of charge. This is clear now, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So we can copy this values. It's in the textbook, page number 33. Okay. If you can't complete, you can look at the textbook. Okay, that's about the discovery of subatomic particles. Okay, next we are moving to the different models, atomic models that we can discuss in the next class. So before that, can you tell me which are the atomic models you are familiar with?
Bohr's
Jyoti?
model.
Yeah, Abhinav, tell me.
Bohr's model.
Yeah, Bohr's model of an atom. Jyoti, can you tell me one? Other than Bohr's model? The first model proposed, it related to plum, watermelon, etc. Do you remember? What's the name? Yes, Emmeline?
Thomson.
Thomson, J.J. Thomson's model. What's the name of that model? You already learned that in 9th standard.
Rutherford's plum pudding model.
It's J.J. Thomson's plum pudding model. Okay, the name of that model is plum pudding model because it's related to a plum pudding or a watermelon. It's also known as watermelon model. Okay, then any other models?
Rutherford's model.
Yeah, what's the name? Rutherford's model. Samia?
Nuclear model.
Very good. Rutherford's nuclear model of an atom. From which experiment this nuclear model of an atom is derived? Anyone?
Ma'am, bombarding of alpha particles.
Bombarding which elements?
Ma'am,
Ah.
gold, a sheet of gold was.
Very good. Gold foil experiment. That's the name of that experiment. We can discuss these topics in the next class. Okay. So the first one, it is J.J. Thomson's model. Second one, Rutherford's model. Third one, Bohr model. Clear? This is clear for you, children? Any doubt in this portion? Previous one, discovery of electron, proton, neutron. Any doubts? Anyone? Nothing.
No.
Okay. So, Elaine, can you tell me who discovered this proton?
Ma'am, Goldstein.
E. Goldstein. Okay. Anjana? What's the name of that experiment that lead to the discovery of electron?
Cathode rays.
Cathode ray discharge tube experiment. Okay. Eva, what about the charge of neutron?
Ma'am, neutrons have no charge.
Yes. Okay. Then all of you please switch on your videos. Alan Joshi. What about the charge of electron? Alan. Charge of electron. Is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Electron.
Negative.
Negative. What about the charge of proton, Dia? Yes. Okay, children. So all of you read this portion very well for the next class. Okay. Okay, then thank you all. See you in the next class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.